Dear students, today we will discuss another chapter, tissues. First of all, we should discuss the definition of the tissues. Very clear, in one sentence it can be said like this. Group of cells that perform similar function, or the cells may be similar in origin or dissimilar in origin but have to perform the similar function. That is called tissue. Now, can we think, are plants and animals made up of same types of tissues? Definitely no. Plants are stationary and hence are provided with some tissues made up of dead cells, which provide mechanical strength. They have to withstand unfavorable conditions like strong winds, storms, floods, etc. And animals, on the other hand, move around in search of food, mates, shelter. They consume more energy as compared to plants. Most of the tissues they contain are living. Cell growth in animals is more uniform. The structural organization of organs and organ systems is far more specialized and localized in complex animals than even in very complex plants. Now, let us discuss something about the plant's tissues. Plants contain two types of tissues. First, meristematic tissues, and another one is permanent tissue. Meristematic tissue always goes through the growth of plants, occurs only in certain specific regions. This is because the dividing tissue, also known as meristematic tissue, is the region where they are present. Meristematic tissues are classified as apical, lateral, and intercalary on the basis of location in the plant body. Apical meristem is present at the apical or growing tips of stems and roots. Apical meristem increase the length of the plant, and lateral meristem is present in the radial portion of the stem or root. Lateral meristem increases the girth of the plant. Like this, intercalary meristem occurs at the base of the leaves or at the internodes. Intercalary meristem increase the length of the internode. And now discussion about the permanent tissue. Old meristematic cells lose the capacity to divide and transform into permanent tissues. This process of taking up a permanent shape, size, and function is called differentiation. These are cells which have lost their capacity to divide but are specified to provide strength, flexibility, and elasticity to the plants. These tissues can be further classified into simple permanent, complex permanent, and a special type of tissues. It means that there are three types of permanent tissues. First one is simple permanent, and second is complex permanent, and third one is special tissues. Simple permanent can be categorized into parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma based on their function. Parenchyma are living cells. They are usually loosely packed. This tissue provides support to plant and also stores food. In some situations, it contains chlorophyll and performs photosynthesis. And then it is called chlorenchyma. Parenchyma, which contains large air cavities in aquatic plants, is called erenchyma. The erenchyma helps in buoyancy. It means that helps in floating in the water. Collenchyma, these are elongated living cells with a small intercellular spaces. Their cell walls are made up of cellulose and pectin. Collenchyma occurs in peripheral region of stem and lives to provide mechanical support and flexibility in plants. Sclerenchyma, these are long, dead cells with a deposit of lignin in their cell wall. They have no intercellular spaces. Sclerenchyma occurs around the vascular tissues in stems, in the veins of leaves, and in the hard covering of seeds and nuts. They provide a strength to the plant. Epidermis aids in protection against loss of water, mechanical injury, and invasion by parasitic fungi, since it has a protective role to play. Cells of epidermal cells form a continuous layer without intercellular spaces. Epidermis of the leaf contains a small pores called stomata. These are necessary for gases exchange and transpiration. One another tissues, cork. This is the outer protective tissue which replaces the epidermal cells in older roots and stems. Cork cells are dead and lack intercellular spaces. Their cell walls are thickened by suberin, which makes them impermeable to water and gauze molecules. Now discussion about the complex permanent tissues. Complex permanent tissue comprises of conducting tissues called xylem and phloem. Xylem is useful in transport of water and soluble substances. Xylem consists of tracheids, vessels, fibers, and parenchyma. Transport of minerals and water is unidirectional in xylem. Phloem is useful in transport of food molecules. Phloem comprises of sieve tubes, sieve cells, companion cells, and phloem fibers, and phloem parenchyma. Phloem is unlike xylem in the materials can move in both direction in it. In very common question that differences between xylem and phloem, you have to discuss or write in your notebook that what is the differences, what is the basic differences between xylem and phloem. It means that xylem contain almost non-living cell except xylem parenchyma, while the phloem contains all living cells except phloem fiber. Another topic is animal tissues. It may be discussed later. Thank you and have a nice day. Dear students,